Hello clarinet fans, and welcome to a very special masterclass. This masterclass is on exercise number 9 from the Book of Artistic Studies from the French School, page 95, and this is from measure 50. So what I'm going to do is take you through the piece, and also take you through my own preparation of the piece. Because, I mean, it is something that I can sight read fairly easily, because there's a lot of arpeggios, thirds, and just scale passages that are very easy for me to sight read because I practice so many scales myself. But basically I'll play through it, and as I come up to a bit that's difficult, I'll tell you how I've been practicing it. So we'll start from the beginning. Now what I've done is, it says about 112 per crotchet. What I'll do is I'll take it back to 100. You can take it back further, but for the purposes for today we'll start at 100. So first line is actually pretty straightforward. So let's whack on the metronome, because I always practice with the metronome. It lets me know how fast the piece should be, and also keeps me, because when I practice, I wouldn't start practicing at 112. I mean, I might even start practicing at 80. But I find that practice is more structured if you know exactly what tempo you're at. And for a piece like this, I would have in my mind at the beginning of the session, okay, I'm going to start at 80 and finish at 100. Yesterday, I started at 100, and then I got to the bit between 70 and 75. Well, 75 and 80. There's a nasty little passages that turns from thirds into something that isn't thirds. So it's very nasty. So what I did was I took it back to 92 and just practiced that bit for a while. And I just practiced that bit for ages. Yeah, so you just keep practicing it over and over with the goal in mind to be able to do it at that speed and then move it up a few notches. So we started at 92. And it is P here. I think there are dynamics in the piece, but when you first read it, dynamics aren't as important as when you've learnt the piece, and then you can put in the dynamics. So I took it. This is bar 76. I took it at 92 for a while. And that's all I'd practice, those 2 bars. And when I got it at that speed, I would then move it up to 96. See, the thing is that you can't always practice the whole piece at the one tempo, because there's always going to be bits that are a lot harder. For at the moment, for instance, I'm doing the Spohr third concerto, and there's 2 bits in the first movement that are staccato octaves in a descending arpeggio. And I can play the rest of the movement at about 112, which is about as fast as you're supposed to go. But these 2 bits only, and I took these 2 bits, just the 4 bars, and just played those 4 bars and took it right back to 80. You know, and once I'd got it at 80, I'd get it at 84, then I'd get it at 88. You know, and this is over several practice sessions, because don't expect when you're learning a new piece to be able to play it after the first sight reading. Just doesn't happen. This is day 2 of this piece. I posted my sight reading last night. I still haven't got it completely under the fingers yet, which is why I've taken it back in pace. But metronomes are brilliant, because you're not judging how much faster, you know how much faster it is. So I would take it then at 96. And I identified this as the hardest part in the piece, so that's why. So that for me is the hardest part of the piece. The rest of it's pretty straightforward. Maybe bar 82. Just those first couple of beats. Those seem to come out alright. So then I would take it up to 100, which is what I'm doing the rest of the piece is. So this is still 76. Okay, and don't just do it once at that speed and get it right. Do it a few times, because the more times you repeat it correctly, the more likely it's meant to stick up here. I wasn't completely happy with this, so I'll do it again. Oops. And I still wasn't completely happy with it. So it was good. I'll do it one more time. Bah! And you see it's not completely in the head. I'm going to have to do a few more times. And it's important not to keep repeating the same mistakes. So what I'm going to do is take it back to 92 again. And do it a few more times at 92. Maybe I tried to take it up to speed too quickly. And I'll do it one more time because I messed up at the end there. So, hang on. Okay. Really, it's the second bar that gets me every time. And now I'll take it again at 92. I think what throws me out is when you suddenly go over the break to that C. Okay, so that really helped get the kinks out, didn't it? So now we take it back up to 96. Let me do just that bar, which is 77. Because you have to analyse why you're getting it wrong in order to work out how to fix it. Which for me was going over the break to that C. That was really mucking me up. And now we got it, so let's chuck it back up to 100 again, and then we'll do the rest of the piece. Let's get the concentration back. And let's just do it one more time. Okay, so we've got it. So let's start from the beginning of the piece. This is a really easy, just straight up arpeggio. For the F, you can go the long F, or you can banana key the regular F, because the regular F's too flat. It's a little bit under, so. Or whichever one. You can even overblow the D. Although that is a little bit sharp, so maybe either the long F. Let me just pull that back a little so you can see my right hand. So either the long F or a banana keyed regular F. And don't be scared of it, because you should be about double F by then. Some clarinetists kind of back off their top notes. Don't do that. Really let it ring. Now you're soft. Not a huge trill. That's all you should need, really. And use the covered fingering on the A, which is 2-3, 2-3, and the CF key. Give you a nice A. Otherwise, a lot better. And also I use this covered fingering for the B flat as well. You've got to look at my throat tones video and you'll get what I mean. Okay, this is something I'm going to take back to 92 as well. You've got a straight B flat major broken chord leading to the sextuplets. I got a bubble. And you know what's hard for me is going from the B flat to the F. For some reason I don't seem to like doing that, which is weird because I do B flat major arpeggios all the time. And those are really fast. And you're supposed to tongue in there somewhere. And then we've got the first of our triplets that turn scales in third that don't turn out to be scales in third. Which you'll recall come back in 74 and 76. So if you get the first one right, then you're well on your way to practicing the second and third incidents of it. So get this first one right. And then we've got our lovely B flat major arpeggio coming back. And again, I don't like going from that B flat to F, do I? And I prefer the long F there. It's a very strong note compared to the others. And then we're in some really lovely which is a diminished seventh, which is clouded a little bit by the E flat. You could probably call them appoggiaturas, really. Oh yeah, it is an A flat still. Now, I'm going to note it in my parts so I know that I am to take a big breath at 61 so that I can get through to 66 without having to breathe. So let's try that. And it's nice that you can just put the register key onto the G, isn't it? It's very well written for the instrument. Sorry, wrong note in there, but you can see that I made it very well. So make these notes on your part to take a big breath, and it'll save a lot of time when you get to the concert platform and you start freaking out. So let's try this again and just see how we can get through. And it helps if you're practicing slower too, because it makes it easier. It makes it easier for your breaths when you get on stage if you can do it at a slower tempo. And I think I just played an A natural there, didn't I? Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to write in the flat. There we go. I'm not going to miss it next time. Playing again. I suppose you could call it a B diminished seventh because you're going to the tonic of C, which is chord 5 in F major. So what he's basically doing in these 4 bars is announcing the arrival of C. So rather clever writing, really. But not to be deterred, we're back in F major again. Okay, so let's get these side keys happening. Although going back to 68 or 67, you've got your C seventh announcing again your F major chord. And these are semi-staccato. They're not really short staccato because you've got the slur over them. You don't really want it because it's a semi-staccato. And this is a gentler part of the piece, I think. So let's get it right. You have the right hand C, left hand D flat going to an E flat, and you should be fine. And then this one I prefer to use the right hand D flat. And we get the incidence of that third, the scale in thirds that turns out not to be scale in thirds, leading to the big one, which is the one, of course, I've had the most problem with. Let's take it up to 96 and how we see we go. And you see I backed off on the F, there's no need for it. There's no staccatos written over it, but I would tend to leave a bit of space between those notes. And I didn't take a big breath there. Let's put another big breath sign there. Yeah, let's try that again. So I'm having a little bit of problem with the last beat of that bar. That's interesting. Probably because I'm thinking too much actually about the leap up to the G, and I'm missing out the last beat of that previous bar. Sometimes it actually hurts you to be thinking ahead too much. You might actually miss something hard in the bar you're playing. I know what I'm trying to do. I've worked it out. Is that everything in that bar previously, you kind of want to be doing that. Because you know, the notes repeat themselves and suddenly they don't. And you see, that's the only bit that doesn't repeat, because what you want to be doing, and that's not going to work. So let's put that in context. And that breath's going to be a lot easier when I speed it up. look at the bits that were giving me trouble. Those are the bits that were giving me trouble. So and again this okay, so that didn't come out too badly actually. Use the left hand C at 62. Otherwise you have to slide from the B to the A flat, it can get nasty. So actually put a big, that's what I just did there, put a big L in there so that you know. And you see I put the right hand C so that I had to slide up to the A. So this doesn't seem to be going too badly actually. And I've lost concentration because I play this enough, I actually half memorised the piece. So let's take it from the beginning before I completely lose concentration. It's a lovely Saturday afternoon here. You can see the sun streaming through the window. I'm not necessarily fully have a full attention on the piece. I think I'll go out and walk my dogs later on. And notice the difference. You've got a very brash, brilliant beginning, and then it chills off in the next 2 bars. Really play that, really bring that out. And I missed that B flat to F again. It comes from not getting that thumb moving. You make that easily. Sorry about that. I was thinking back to 55. And instead... So that's me gas bagging on for half an hour, but you can see the thought processes behind my practice of this piece. Hope that helps, and I'm going to keep practicing at it and see if I can't get it up to full speed later on today, if not tomorrow. Ciao!